28, soon to be 29. I don't know what's happening, what's happened to time, I have no idea. I want to slow down. I'm currently working with the youth of the youth, for 11 to 18-year-olds. I'm graduated with a bachelor's in graphic design in 2013 from Camberwell College of Art. So it's been for me, quite a while. Yes, I'm kind of hot back to my even more insecure days. But so yeah, this afternoon now, I'm going to be talking about life on campus during those 3 years at uni. I didn't stay on campus, I lived nearby, but yeah, I guess just reflecting on my 3 years of university, what is it I can share, I guess, and what can I take away from those 3 years. So, yeah, this was the uni. It looks pretty crusty. I'm told it looks cool. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, I remember going to the open day and just thinking, what the heck is this place? But there is a nicer building on the other side, which is much more kind of old and kind of cool looking. But definitely some good work going on inside. So yeah, so with starting university, you can say goodbye to studying things you don't want to study, basically. Like having to study, for me, the math and French or whatever, and saying goodbye to those things and taking on a subject that hopefully you feel passionate about and that you love, right, ideally. So I'm hoping that a lot of you start uni feeling like, yeah, like I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna take this on, I'm gonna make my mark on the world, I don't know, somehow. Or start with passion, at least I did, I definitely began with passion. And yeah, during my first year, I was definitely quite focused and quite driven. But I'd say definitely with uni comes insecurity. Definitely in my school. This is a painting by some guy who graduated, I think, a year before me. It's pretty cool. But this perfectly depicts a Camberwell student. Yeah, just kind of like, it's kind of a cool school, I guess. But with that, everyone is quite insecure because you've got kind of like every kind of arty oddball from every school around the world kind of in one place, and everyone kind of trying to prove themselves. And I think it's tough when you, I guess like you're probably like good in your field, right? As in the subject you've chosen to study is something you're quite good at, or at least you think you are. And so when those people converge in one place, it's kind of quite competitive. And yeah, like it's kind of, you know, when someone makes something cool, you kind of be like, oh, it's really good. You know, it's kind of quite hard to be happy for each other and to kind of support each other in that way. It's what I noticed. Especially when like we've got people painting amazing stuff like this. This is Charles Moxon, who graduated I think the year after me. Anyway, like he's a fine artist, but really amazing. And I definitely couldn't make that, that's for sure. But yeah, so you're surrounded by talent, and I think especially for me, like I'm someone who, I was used to like being the odd Asian kid in school who just liked to draw and wasn't good at very much else, to be honest. Or at least thought I wasn't. So you're kind of used to kind of be branded as being good in that. But then when you're around people who are really amazing, how do you then deal with that? Do you then, like for me, I kind of got quite disheartened and kind of lost a bit of my spirit. Whereas I should have been kind of inspired by what people were doing and the ideas people were sharing, right? So how do you then, I don't know, like be a pillar for supporting each other and to kind of like nourish each other in the right way? It's something I was really thinking about a lot. And also like helping each other. Like I feel like as an artist, you kind of don't want to share your thoughts so much because you don't want to give it away, or you don't want to share your thoughts until you've made something and this is what it is. It's kind of like that kind of fear, or kind of not wanting to divulge what it is you're creating somehow, or show it in its process, but rather the end product, because you don't want to criticize it, but also you don't want to steal it. So then, I don't know, I just really was thinking about this a lot throughout kind of my uni studies. This is a quote by me. So thousands of candles can be lighted or lit from a single candle, and the life of the candle will not be shortened. Happiness never decreases by being shared. So what I noticed was I made the best work when I was we did a lot of group work, which was also good and bad. Like there's some really annoying people who kind of were so opinionated and didn't want to kind of like, you know, crumble, or didn't want to kind of compromise, which was really annoying actually. I faced a lot of that, or lazy people, or overly enthusiastic, I don't know, many different kinds of characters. But actually the best work was made when everyone really contributed and shared, and that's when something really amazing happened. And that's kind of really incredible feeling, when you can create something together and it's like really amazing and you feel like everyone contributed, everyone felt fulfilled somehow. So that's another thing I really thought about, was sharing, and how actually you make better work by sharing ideas. And someone will say something or criticize your work and it hurts, but actually really you're better for it, and you need to make those mistakes in order to really make something amazing. So that was also something I thought about as well. And also morals. I feel like that we maybe start uni with certain kind of personal morals that we want to uphold and we want to keep, which is quite difficult because everyone's going to try to make new friends and find their feet and find out who they are. But then how do you then learn and grow but still maintain certain ideals that you hold true? Do you know what I mean? Because they will be compromised. And I'd say in art school, definitely people are trying to shock and provoke, whether that be kind of like super sexual art or super like product, like a punch in the face art. They really want to shock you. But I often think about what the motive is and what it is, because it can be quite self-indulgent or quite, this is me, this is my soul. But it really made me think about what is it I want to share, what is it I want to put out there, and what do I want to contribute to. So yeah, it just really got me thinking on many levels. Again, it might be different with different subjects, I don't know, probably. But I really started to question myself and what is it I wanted to uphold, what is it I want to carry, how do I want to grow, basically. So this is a quote by someone. So you are in the heavenly arm to surmount obstacles, broaden and fill your environment with goodness. So definitely, there were certain groups who kind of couldn't be bothered. And a lot of people in my class were kind of in a band as well, part of some art group, all had their toes in different areas, and that's awesome. But with that came kind of like this kind of like slovenly a nature. They're all living in big houses together, so all coming to school late, and with that, definitely, your tutors feel a sense of a lack of respect in a way. When you kind of late a lot, and I noticed that when I was hanging out with those people, it was okay to kind of be late, or it was okay to kind of not honour, I guess not honour the teacher, but to show that you care about the subject and that you want to be there. But when I was around other students, who kind of uplifted me or kind of allowed me to focus or helped me to refocus, my work was a lot better. So I often thought about the tutor and about how in the beginning of the year the whole class is there at the first induction day, and then gradually the class depletes. And sometimes you can't go because you stay up all night doing a deadline and you kind of compromise that lesson to kind of get a bit more sleep. But I really started to think about how that teacher must feel. I know that they get paid anyway, but it kind of makes a difference giving a class to 2 people as opposed to 4 classes kind of engaged and enthusiastic. So, and they mark your work too, so it works in your favour to be there, right? They see your face a lot and you engage with the tutor. So I really started to think about what kind of artist I wanted to be and what kind of person I wanted to be. What do I want to stand for, and you really build good habits during uni, because if I pursue design later, which I have been here and there, but I want to pursue it again after I've completed what I'm doing with youth. It's going to be a similar schedule. I'll have to come up with ideas, and it's very similar. I don't want to mimic the lazy habits that I had, but how do I really create a good work ethic and to be inspired. If you want to be a scientist, what kind of scientist do you want to be? If you want to be a teacher, what kind of teacher do you want to be? And I feel like now is when we start to kind of carve ourselves out and kind of hone different qualities of ourselves, and what do we want to nourish and what do we want to discard and who do we want to become. So anyway, again, I was really thinking about this a lot during my uni. And also focus. My first year, like I said, I was really driven and focused, and then second year, I kind of plummeted. We had half of my class go off to America and Erasmus and Germany, and in exchange with a group of really driven German students come, and they were really, really talented. And like I said, when I'm surrounded by super talented people, I often find it hard to be inspired by it and to be like, oh my god, they showed their portfolios, and I was like, oh my gosh, they're knock out, So they'd heard good things about our uni, and so gave their best work. And German university, they've heard what I've had are really good, and they said they had all the skills and were really driven, used to criticism, and I wasn't used to that, so they were ripping my work off the wall, and I was like, oh my god, a whole new level of understanding. But so definitely with that, I lost momentum, and I kind of floundered a bit. And due to that, my grade and my second year counted towards my overall degree, and because of that 1 year, I didn't get the grade I wanted. So definitely, like, it's good to kind of, it's more of a marathon rather than a race, and that's what I did. I kind of raced in the beginning and burnt out, and then didn't have the energy during my second year of my dissertation and stuff like that. So definitely I would say it's just really trying to maintain a certain rhythm, Daddy, my husband, like, he's really focused and driven. So he's not like super high flyer or like super bad, but he's like really, he maintains a certain kind of level. So he got like straight grades the whole way through, did everything early, unlike me who leaves everything to the last minute, which is why I couldn't find late actually today. But yeah, so yeah, I didn't know how to focus. Like, it was something that I really thought about. It made me think about my character, how I tend to have big ideas in the beginning and then it fizzles out. So, yeah, just how I start to think about how do we refocus, like how do we recharge and things like that. So like, you know, talking to my tutor's help, going to museums, like if I was running out of ideas, what do I want to do? I want to refill on like read new books and to be kind of like re-interested again. Talk to your friends about your work, talk to your parents about your work. And yeah, you know, it's worth making those 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, worth your time and your money, basically, because you're going to be paying that back, that loan. So I don't know, like from a practical standpoint, you want to get as much as you can from a degree, I really think. So I also started to think why I was studying in the first place. Like, why was it I was studying? Was it because neither of my parents went to university? I think they had this expectation. They were really happy that I was going. You know, my family's not from a super academic background. We're all quite working class. You know, like my mum's family was like farmers and things like this. And so definitely there was that reason. I wanted to make my parents proud, maybe. Or maybe recognition. I feel people who like art or like to create do somehow want recognition, I'm going to be honest. When someone says, oh, that's amazing, like, yeah, it's like not, you know. I'm just being honest, right? When you make something, when you cook something, when you give something to somebody, it's good. It's nice to feel that it's appreciated, right? Or to get a good grade or whatever. But I started to think about like a bigger cause, like what was it I wanted to do with what I was making or doing. Because like I said, like graphics can be quite, graphics has a purpose, but art in itself can be quite self-indulgent, and a lot of artists just want to create because it's like revealing part of their soul, or this is me, like accept me, you know, or bearing part of themselves. So I started to think of art as more of a way of like, I guess encouraging good change or inspiring people, because there's a lot of art that kind of wants to just shock and it has its place too, but yeah, I started to think about my eventual goal and my purpose and what was it I wanted to do. So with that, I think like having a focus also helps you to stay focused. So having an end goal helps you to really stay on top of it. And so a building is constructed according to the designer's blueprint. A building that is built without reference to the original blueprint cannot be what the designer originally intended. And definitely with art, like definitely like the idea evolves and it grows, and often, for me anyway, the idea I had in the beginning isn't often what it is at the end. But I think by this quote it means that like unless you have like a kind of like a game plan or some kind of plan, then I feel like it's hard to stick to it, hard to think, why am I doing this actually? What's the real purpose? And what is my kind of like I guess, I don't know, like list of things that I want to do, which is something I struggle to do, like planning. Yeah, it's definitely something that I'm working on. So then, fuel. So again, like with kind of losing focus, you can kind of like run out of steam. I really like that. Like I'm like, oh, guns blazing, and then I'm like, ugh. So I think it's easy when you start uni life to kind of, especially when you're living away from home, to forego calling mum and dad. And that sounds like such a silly thing, but actually, like, it helps. Going home helps. Like, we're all still big kids at heart, I think, and I think with uni you can kind of feel like we're adults. And we are, we're young adults, we're growing up, that's for sure. I still feel like a baby sometimes though. But I do feel like calling home kind of grounds you, and it kind of, you can kind of talk through your issues, talk through your problems, or with close friends. Like, we're surrounded by new groups of friends, kind of trying to find our feet, who is a real friend, who isn't, like, I don't know, who do I sit with at lunch, that kind of thing. But actually, like, it's good to have a few people who are, I guess, who live back home, or who you know are solid friends, and to kind of stay in contact with them, to still nurture those friendships, because I feel like it's easy to kind of forget that kind of thing with all the stress of university and kind of all the projects that go on. it's easy to kind of neglect those relationships in a way. So I encourage you throughout uni, maybe just put MMD in your calendar occasionally and call home, because they really appreciate it for starters. It helps them to know what you're doing and kind of, because my parents aren't naggy, they won't call me unless I guess I really felt to call you, you know. But I have to initiate it, and they'll always appreciate it, but they won't nag me, so they won't call me even if they want to. So it's important to kind of stay connected in that way. And also, I guess, like I lived in London, moved to the countryside, came back to London, and I feel like London definitely is a bit soul-destroying sometimes. If you're always around the grey and the kind of commuters and the sweaty armpits and the crowded tube and like the cancelled train and the tuts and the murmurs, you know, it does kind of destroy you a little bit. So for me, what I need is to go out into the greenery, or like, just Hyde Park. If you're in the middle of Hyde Park, you definitely feel a sense of like rejuvenation. And I'm saying this now, for a lot of you who are starting uni, like you're thinking, I don't feel like that yet. But there will be a time where you feel like you're running out of steam. So what is it that you need to refuel? What is it that you need to feel like you have the energy to kind of continue and to kind of refocus? Because at one point it will happen, whether that be like the night before your dissertation's due, or I don't know, like one girl in my class, I think, stayed up for 5 days before her last deadline, and she looked like death. So, you know, there will be times where you kind of need to, I don't know, pull it back a bit and kind of refuel somehow. So think about what is your remedy, what is your healthy remedy, or what is your way of kind of refueling in that way. For me, mine was prayer. I pray a lot. I try to anyway. So through prayer, our heart will be restocked. And that's each to their own. Everyone has their own way of connecting to some bigger thing or to kind of their inner purpose or whatever. But for me, I definitely, when I neglect to kind of say a little prayer or something, I definitely feel a bit empty. And with prayer, I do feel like I refill somehow, even if it's just kind of positive talk, like today I pray that I can do this, or I pray that blah, blah, blah. It's my kind of like mantra, or like my way of connecting to something bigger, to kind of understanding, okay, I'm one person, it's not a big deal, it's okay. I'm not saying all girls are like this, but I do tend to overreact, freak out, go crazy. So in those moments, what do? You kind of need to regroup and think, okay, it's not that big of a deal actually. It really isn't. So I guess as a recap, have confidence, especially when you're in the first few weeks of uni. Everyone's insecure, everyone is feeling really awkward about what they're wearing, how they're standing, where they are, you know, where they're going to sit at lunch, what they're eating, whatever. Hold true to your values, keep up the pace, focus and keep focused. What? I'm focused, keeping that in. Okay. As you can see, last minute. No. And focus, comma, keeping that end on the side. Does that work? It works. And fuel with goodness. So everyone's study journey is different. Some people will go on to do a PhD, others won't. Some will just do a college course, others will do something else, some will do an apprenticeship. And there are many, many different avenues to take. And everyone has their own path to forge, so it's important not to compare what other people are doing. As I was researching, actually, I was looking up on a Camberwell alumni, and a lot of my peers are doing amazing things. And I was just like, what am I doing in my life? Honestly, like my friend Phoebe, like she's working for like just a design studio in London, and she's like, she designed the new Premier League logo, and you know, like the new big Airbnb, she helped with that, and like what else? I said Deliveroo. Anyway, she's doing something. I was like, dang. But anyway, again, don't compare. And yeah, just I guess, I don't know, it's cheesy, but you know, it's an adventure. There will be kind of ups and downs for sure, but like definitely, I think especially one thing I realised through art, sorry, I was already kind of like saying that, is that it was only through the mistakes that I realised what was good. So with art, you create something and it's rubbish, and it's rubbish, and it's rubbish, but you take bits and bits and bits and bits, then in the end you're like, okay, that's what it was supposed to be. And it's only through messing up and through making rubbish things and ripping up paper and having a floor covered in paper, sorry, trees and environment. But you know, it's only through that process that you get to the end goal. So again, I'm not studying, I don't know, all the amazing things that Liz and Johnson are studying, you know, but I'm sure there are times when things mess up and you think, damn, but actually if you can really grab that, learn from your mistakes, and it's cheesy, but it's really, really true, at least I really feel that really strongly, then you can really feel like, okay, I've learned something, and that didn't work. And that's not what I like, but this is what I like, and this is what I love. And if you can love what you do, like, I think that's amazing, and that's my goal, is to have a job that I love to do. So I wanted to just end with a couple more quotes. One by Mary Curie. We must have perseverance and above all confidence in ourselves. We must believe that we are gifted for something and that this thing must be attained. I love this one. Be you are meant to be, and you will set the world on fire. So I don't mean literally to become arsonists, but just yeah, like I had this as a postcard on my wall which a friend of mine gave to me, and it is cheap. I'm like, yeah, something back in my door. Yeah, fire. Just and I guess that's the idea, right? How do we be who we were meant to be? So we're on that journey now, and hopefully at some point the world will be ablaze with our creativity and our enthusiasm and our ideas, and we can like make a positive change. So I think that's what it is for me anyway, making a positive change, as cheesy as that sounds. Again, trying to fight the cheesiness as an English girl, like, well, I don't know, you know, we always try to fight that cheesiness, but I have to embrace it sometimes. So yeah, so that's it really.